Florida rakes in nearly $94 billion a year, more than some countries, without taking a dime of income tax from its residents. The secret is simple: outsiders pay for the sunshine. Each year, 130 million tourists bankroll the local government, and $18 billion flows from Disney alone. But beneath paradise, the math gets even stranger, and it's why the rules of economics are being rewritten here. So, what is Florida really hiding behind its billion-dollar success? No other brand draws outsiders to Florida like Walt Disney World. Since opening in 1971, Walt Disney World has grown into an economic powerhouse, generating $18.2 billion each year, more than the annual GDP of countries like Jamaica or Iceland. That single anchor attracts millions of visitors who spend freely on hotels, meals, and souvenirs, all while paying taxes built into every transaction. In 2024, Florida welcomed over 130 million tourists, a figure that dwarfs the population of most states. Each hotel stay triggers a 6% state sales tax, plus local tourist development taxes that can add up to another 6%. Every theme park ticket, restaurant bill, and rental car feeds into the state revenue stream. Altogether, these visitor levies funnel more than $8 billion into public coffers annually. The scale is staggering. For every $100 spent by a tourist, as much as $20 to $30 ends up funding schools, roads, and emergency services. Disney's gravitational pull does more than fill hotel rooms. It supports nearly 500,000 jobs across Central Florida and covers a significant share of the region's tax base. This is the export-based theory in action. Outsiders bring in new money, and locals reap the benefits. While residents enjoy the parks, it is the steady flow of tourists drawn by the promise of sunshine and spectacle who pay the bills. In Florida, the magic is not just on Main Street, it is in the numbers. Florida's ports transform the state into a global crossroads for cruise travel. Each year, nearly 70% of all U.S. cruise passengers begin their journeys from Florida's docks. Port Miami, Port Canaveral, and Port Everglades buzz with activity as floating cities embark for the Caribbean, Mexico, and beyond. The cruise industry alone generates $9 billion in annual revenue for Florida, outpacing the GDP of some small nations. Port fees, passenger charges, and onboard spending ripple outward, supporting thousands of jobs in hospitality, logistics, and supplies. But the real story is in the seasonal surges. Spring break brings a tidal wave of college students and families, injecting $3.2 billion into the state in just 8 weeks, about $400 million per week. Hotels fill to capacity, restaurants run double shifts, and local governments collect a windfall in sales and tourist taxes. The ports themselves see demand spikes that test their capacity, with lines of buses and taxis stretching for blocks. These cycles of high-intensity visitor traffic create both volatility and opportunity. When ships are full and beaches are packed, Florida's tax machine runs at maximum power. Yet the peaks also reveal the state's dependence on steady flows of outsiders. The upside is clear. As long as the ships keep sailing and the crowds keep coming, billions pour into public funds without touching a dime of residents' income. This volatile, visitor-driven engine sets the stage for the next wave of opportunity seekers, the companies following the money south. A different kind of gold rush is underway in Florida, one measured not in sand or sunshine, but in corporate logos on new office towers. Since 2020, more than 1,000 companies have packed up headquarters from states like California, Illinois, and New York and made Florida their new home. The reason is simple arithmetic. Florida's corporate tax rate stands at 5.5%, undercutting California's 8.84% and New York's 7.25%. For a company with billions of dollars in annual profit, that gap means millions kept on the balance sheet instead of paid to the state. Nowhere is this calculus clearer than in the case of Citadel, the financial giant led by Ken Griffin. When Citadel moved its headquarters from Chicago to Miami in 2022, the numbers told the story. On Griffin's personal income alone, the lack of a state income tax meant a savings of over $200 million each year. For the company, the move also erased the need to navigate Illinois' 9.5% corporate tax, swapping it for Florida's friendlier rate and a slate of incentives offered by local officials eager to land a marquee name. The shift isn't just about taxes. Florida offers no franchise, inheritance, or gift taxes, giving executives and their heirs more reasons to stay. These advantages have drawn not just hedge funds, but tech firms, manufacturers, and logistics companies, all chasing the promise of lower overhead and a lighter regulatory touch. The result is a steady stream of high-paying jobs, new construction, and a business climate that signals to the rest of the country that the doors are open and the math is in your favor. Miami's skyline tells a story written in foreign currencies. In the city's luxury condo market, more than 3 out of every 4 units are bought with cash from abroad. Latin American investors, Chinese buyers, and European fortunes flow into glass towers overlooking Biscayne Bay. For these international buyers, Florida offers more than ocean views. There is no state-to-state tax, and property laws favor asset protection, making the region a magnet for global wealth seeking stability and sunshine. The impact is visible in soaring prices. Median home values in Miami now top $500,000, and rents have climbed by double digits year after year. But the rules are not the same for everyone. Florida's homestead exemption gives residents a $50,000 break on their property's assessed value, shielding local homeowners from the full brunt of rising taxes. Non-residents, including most foreign investors, pay the full rate. The gap can mean thousands of dollars a year in savings for locals, but it also creates a two-tiered system where the cost of owning a home depends on where you call home. A few hours north, the Villages has become a haven for retirees drawn by low taxes and high median incomes. Median income there is $95,000 a year in a place built for leisure. Here, golf carts outnumber cars, and residents swap stories about property tax bills that would make a New Yorker envious. The influx of newcomers, both foreign and domestic, continues to reshape Florida's housing market, fueling construction booms and driving up land values. Yet for longtime residents, the surge brings a new reality. The price of paradise is rising, and who pays depends on which side of the residency line you stand. Florida's coastline is more than a scenic backdrop. It is a $72 billion economic engine. The state's beaches stretch over 825 miles, drawing not just sunseekers, but a steady stream of spending that ripples through hotels, restaurants, and local businesses. Every year, millions of people flock to the sand, fueling a leisure sector that now outpaces Florida's entire agricultural output. The numbers tell the story. While traditional farming generates about $10 billion annually, coastal recreation and beach tourism multiply that figure many times over. This is not just about vacationers. Coastal real estate commands some of the highest premiums in the country, driving up property values and local tax revenues. Ports along the Atlantic and Gulf coasts serve as gateways for global trade, making Florida a natural corridor for goods moving between the Americas and beyond. Geography, in Florida's case, is not just a matter of luck. It is a resource that the state has learned to monetize at every turn. Every pillar of Florida's economy feeds the next, forming a self-reinforcing cycle that powers the state's billion-dollar engine. Tourist dollars pay for new roads and airports, which attract more conventions and events. That steady flow of outsiders signals opportunity to corporations watching from afar. Companies arrive, bringing high-wage jobs and new residents, which in turn drive demand for housing, retail, and services. Foreign capital follows, pouring into luxury condos and commercial towers, swelling property tax rolls and funding local upgrades. Each loop tightens the connection between visitor spending, corporate relocation, and real estate growth. But this system comes with a catch. The same geography that draws crowds, beaches, ports, and coastal cities also exposes the state to risk. A single hurricane season or a rise in sea levels threatens the $72 billion beach economy, disrupts trade, and shakes investor confidence. The prosperity loop depends on the very assets most vulnerable to climate and disaster, making Florida's economic machine both powerful and precarious. Florida's $94 billion engine runs on money from outside its borders, not within. As other states chase growth, they watch this experiment in real time. The real question is, can prosperity built on outsiders truly last when the world and the weather keep changing? Let's hear your take below.